We got ourselves a battle in the stock market. Day traders versus investors. Which one is actually better? Who is going to win this battle? Well, I'll just start right at the get-go. It's really just a matter of personal preference. And I didn't really come up with this idea on my own, but I got a comment on YouTube, and I don't know if they were really coming at me or just trying to, but they said something. I was like, you know what? I can make a video of that because that's a really, really good point. And it really illustrates the difference between day trading and investing. So if somebody says, well, I'm a day trader, and then somebody else says I'm an investor, okay, what does that actually mean? Now, sure, there's a time element, meaning that a day trader is going to be, buying and selling a stock in a very small amount of time relative to an investor. But there's also something else that at the core, you need to understand about these two. And I see it quite a bit often where day traders are way too focused on the stuff that investors are usually focused on. And so I figured from that point of view, I'll try to kind of accomplish a lot of different little miniature lessons here in and of itself. So let's first get to this comment. But before I get to it, the main dynamic here that needs to really kind of be focused on is the idea of understand. That is you're going to see the word, but that's really the overarching principle that separates what a day trader is doing and what an investor is doing. So let me get to this comment first. I'm sorry, charts have little to no value. Maybe read their financials and news on what's happening. That's enough to help you understand the downtrend. Clearly this person, not a fan of technical charts, which if you're not familiar, that's just a tool that a lot of people out there use. But that's fine. Everybody's got their opinion. But the whole, hey, understand the downtrend. And what is a downtrend? Well, first off, if you're brand new, all that's telling you is a stock is doing this, right? It's downtrending, it's going down in value. And this person is, you know what? Hey, charts, they're not going to help you understand the downtrend. Understand in what way? Well, why is it downtrending? What's causing it to downtrend? And you will get that, to their credit, by reading financial statements, by going through cash flow statements. Maybe you're looking at the management and you're thinking, well, this guy's a terrible CEO. So you could, by looking at that stuff, you could understand why the stock is downtrending. But it's not a question of that really. It's a question of, should you even care about understanding? That's what it comes down to is, should you understand? And as day traders, no, you shouldn't understand. You don't care. The only thing as day traders that you care about is, the fact that's in a downtrend. And that's it. Because as day traders, we're trading price movements. We're trading volume. And if you know it's in a downtrend, that's all you need to know. You don't need to know the why. You don't need to know any of that. Just, hey, it's in a downtrend. Okay, now you can start to form trade plans around that. With that being said, now, of course, if it's in a downtrend, I'm not saying you don't go and scan the news headlines real quick and just read the headline. All right, yeah, got it. I understand the overall context. There was some sort of bad news that came out. But as day traders, especially if you're somebody that's really doing micro trading, a day trader is not going to look at that and be like, all right, well, let me go check through the cash flow statements. Let me go look through the financial balance sheets and all that. And then, no, because as day traders, by the time you get through all that stuff, who knows, maybe it's in an uptrend and it could change that fast. So it's all a matter of, should you even be trying to understand? Now, on the flip side of the coin, as an investor, should you be trying to understand why it's downtrending? Absolutely, you should. Because you're going to be in it for more of a longer term haul. You're going to have a longer term game plan. So yeah, it would definitely be very wise to understand why the downtrend is happening. But as day traders, we just want to know what is happening. And if a downtrend is happening, well, then here you go. Check out a news release real quick, read the headline, and then get back to starting to form a trade plan around what is happening. And what in this situation, what is happening is a downtrend. But you need to understand why it's downtrending. And a lot of times people get that mixed up. They show up and I'm a trader. Oh, I see this acting in a certain way. And then they start digging through all this stuff and they make things way more complicated than what they need to be. So it's okay to not understand why a stock is moving in a certain way. That's okay. It's okay to have no idea what this stock does. I'm trading ticker symbols all the time. If you're like, Clay, what do they do? What is their business model? I have no idea. I don't know anything about this. Now, of course, you have the famous ones, Apple, Amazon, stuff like that. So of course I would know what that is. But some stocks out there, I have no idea. And you don't need to either. Now, again, as an investor, do you need to understand their business model? Do you need to understand what they do? Of course you do. But as a day trader, no, you don't need to know any of that. You just need to know what's going on. And that's why charts are very popular, because that's what a technical chart is a chart is going to tell you what's going on with the price and then the amount of activity, or in other words, the volume that stock is getting. And this person, maybe being a little short-sighted, a little narrow-minded, apparently they think that only investors exist. But no, there are many different branches and many different strategies out there. So, but to call charts totally worthless because they don't help you understand why something is downtrending, that's true. I love charts. And I will be the first to admit, you're absolutely right. Looking at that, which is essentially a chart, a line chart in a very simple form, that's not going to help me understand why it's going down. Now, if you say, well, Clay, technically speaking, it's going down because there's no more supply than demand. Well, yes, I get that. But from a fundamental standpoint, I don't know why I don't know why that's going down. I just know that it is going down. But the flip side is, well, maybe I just don't need to know why it's going down. Maybe I just need to know that it's going down in the first place. So that is really the big battle that goes on sometimes, is you have investors saying, oh, technical analysis is garbage and none of that stuff works because it doesn't help you understand anything about the company. And that's fine. And then you have traders saying, well, why are you bashing charts like I'm doing right now? We don't care about what the company does. We don't care about why something is doing what it is. We just care about, well, what is it doing? So that's the battle that goes on. Who wins? It's a matter of strategy. Me personally, I do both. I have my retirement accounts are all investments. So yes, I'm trying to understand why price movements are acting in certain ways. But I also have my trading accounts where I don't care. I just want to know what the price is doing, and then I can start making decisions from that point of view. So that's the big difference between an investor and day trading. It's all about kind of what you need to understand, and really, should you even be trying to understand it in the first place? And once you start to answer those questions, that really kind of will narrow things down in terms of what is an actual valid strategy that you can be using in the market. So if you have any questions or comments on this, please leave those down below in the comment section. I do read and will reply to all comments. Do you have any experience with this? I'm curious. Have you ever had an investor, who knows, maybe it can go from both sides, but have you ever seen this debate occurring before where one person saying, charts are totally just worthless, and then the chart people are like, financials are worthless, cash flow statements. Have you ever seen anything like that? Do you have any dramatic stories? I like some good drama, so leave that down in the comment section below. Also, hit the like button if you enjoyed this, and check out the channel as a whole, and if you enjoy what you see, then hopefully you decide to subscribe. Thanks for hanging out. First off, thanks so much for watching the entire video. Real quick, before you go, I want to invite you to a live webinar, web class, training, workshop, online event, whatever you want to call it, but it will be me live revealing to you what I've discovered that has allowed me to transform myself from being an employee to being my own boss, including how I had only one losing day out of 73 days in total. I'm going to cover 3 keys that have helped me unlock profitable consistency within the markets. The first key is super weird, but in a productive type of way. The second key is super awesome because it quite literally is wired into our DNA as humans, making it very easy to use. But in a cruel way, this becomes a pitfall for many traders. I'll explain it all though, including how to avoid the pitfall that it creates for some. And yeah, the third key, when you hear it, sounds way too good to be true, but it's not, and I'll show you how it all works. Then at the end, I open it up for a question and answer session that is, again, totally live. Even if you can't make the live session, please still sign up as it will be recorded, and you can go back and watch the replay that I will send you. Click the image on the screen or click the link down in the description box so you can get the date and time and claim your spot, which I should note is limited due to the fact that this truly is a live event. If you have any questions, let me know. If not, I'll be seeing you soon.